How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hope it's having a lovely day. Bengals 0-3. And we're here today to say, hey, you know what? We're all allowed to feel the feelings. You know, right after the loss, it never feels good. 0-3 doesn't feel good. Senior defense, not force a punt the entire game against a rookie quarterback doesn't feel good. But at the end of the day, there is expanded playoffs now. We bring it up because, what is it, like 2% of teams make the playoffs when they start 0-3? Bengals 0-3. One extra team makes the playoffs now. You have one extra game in a season now. Bengals are a second half team. We know historically they get hot in the second half. Bengals went 9-8 with Jake Browning as the quarterback half the season last season. Bengals 2 straight AFC championship. Bengals have been in the AFC championship game every single year Joe Burrow's been healthy. To put that in perspective, right? Lots to be excited about it for with the Bengals, though. You know, the defense, I think, again, we've kind of thought about this. Mike White, Baker Mayfield, just to name some duds. Baker Mayfield seemed to be a pretty solid quarterback, but he was a dud in Cleveland. They wanted him out for a while, right? That just tore apart a Bengals defense. And this happened in the Super Bowl run. This happened in the AFC Championship. But Mike White threw for 405 yards against the Bengals defense. That was supposed to be good, and they lost. And then they go on to give up 40 to the Cleveland Browns the week after that. And then you know what happened? They'd right the ship and they'd make a run to the Super Bowl. The year after that, Cleveland Browns would put up again a big number against the Bengals, win by 30. Baker Mayfield cooking because the Bengals can't get pressure on the quarterback, and he tears them apart. You know what happened after that? The Bengals are going a 10-game winning streak. All things considered, you look and say, hey, we have to trust in this coaching stuff. We have to trust that some of these guys on defense will get healthy. The defensive interior kind of beaten up right now. That Lou Anarumos will figure it out. I mean, we just held Patty Mahomes to 150 the week before. You know, the defense held the Patriots, even though they lost the 16 the week before that. They have been in every football game because of the defense except one. But we have seen this in the past where there's been these outlier games where the Bengals defense just feels like you have no chance because the defense can't stop anybody. But it's happened before, and it's proven to be overreactions by us as fans historically. And it ends up being outliers, and the Bengals figured it out. And this season, of all seasons, is reasons to believe that things shouldn't be any different, if at all. It's that the Bengals will once again get hot and make another Super Bowl run. They're 0-3, but it looks like they might dang well have the best offense this team has had in the Joe Burrow era. Mims is now healthy, starting to show the flashes of what this guy's capable of. You have a lot of continuity on the offensive line, a lot more protection. You're bringing in Chase Brown, who, by the way, is averaging 7 yards per carry right now. He doesn't get a lot of chances. He's only had 15 carries. His snap count continues to diminish week in week. Zach Moss, you know, he can perform. Zach Moss is a solid running back. But, you know, you wonder if Chase Brown starts to earn that role a little bit more. I know they're worried about the pass block game, you know, that sort of situation for him. You wonder if he starts to earn more snaps because that's explosiveness the Bengals haven't seen out of the backfield in a very long time. And then we look again, T. Higgins back, healthy, playing well. Jamar Chase tearing it up. The big play to start the game against Washington. They knew they was going to Jamar early. Jamar still found a way to get open. You love to see that. Found a way to beat his man. Touchdown. Burrow hits him in stride. Beautiful throw. Burrow, who, by the way, threw for 76% completion in this football game and 324 yards. No interceptions. 3 touchdowns. We are 3 games into the season. Joe Burrow has 0 interceptions. Knock on some wood. 0 interceptions. Been very smart with the football. He's been very good with the football. Yeah, week 1 he is a little bit uncomfortable. We've seen it, but have we questioned Joe Burrow's comfortability after that Washington Commanders game? Absolutely not. The Commanders knew it. They went for it on 4th down every time they possibly could. They knew if they kicked that field goal, if they punted, they kicked that field goal, they was going to lose the football game. They said, we're going to go for it, we're going to go for it, we're going to go for it. Because that's the way Joe Burrow's been playing lately. The Cincinnati Bengals, the number 1 rated EPA offensively last week amongst all teams in the season, that game was 4th overall in the season. Number 1 in success rate. There's a lot of good statistics regarding this offense. They're 6th ranked offense yards per game wise through the air so far this season, which is just a hair. You know, their best finish there was 5th 2 years ago. Just a hair below that. But we have to remember, Bengals always a historically slow starting team. So you would think you're 6 now. They could finish top 3 easily. There's a lot to believe in this Bengals offense being able to put up the numbers week in and week out. And there's a schedule that is very favorable. They got the way I look at it, 4-2 in a division, you make the playoffs. Easy. 3-3, pushing it. 2-4, Might be kissing them goodbye. Probably kissing them goodbye. You have to win every single game outside of the division. I think they're going to have a hard time with the Chargers because of just the way that team's built. We'll see what happens there. But besides that, I think they can run through everybody else. The division's everything, though, because you got to gain down, got to get. There's, the Ravens, the Browns got losses. The Steelers got one loss. You can gain so much ground and win the division and get a home game still if you're the Bengals, because the Ravens lost the first 2 games to start the season. You beat the Ravens, you split it with the Ravens 4-2 in the division. You're there. You got to win your division games. And you look at this offense, and you remember when they did beat the Ravens, they had to beat the Ravens in a pass. It was because the Ravens secondary was depleted. The Ravens right now have the worst pass defense in the league. They'll figure it out. Harbaugh always does. But to think this Bengals offense, when the Ravens defense isn't at its best, seeing Joe Burrow throw for 900 yards in 2 games makes you feel very good about their chances of beating the Ravens. And then you look at this Bengals offense. Let's get back on track. We're a little bit distracted. You look at this Bengals offense. We started with Chase Brown. Zach Moss, great. Offensive line, improving. Joe Burrow, looking like Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase, looking like Jamar Chase. T. Higgins still figuring it out. Coming off the hamstring injury. He did have 2 big catches in the end zone. He couldn't get his feet down. He catches those balls, completely different game. Since I catch him, he keeps his feet in bounds, completely different game. Yossi Vash, pleasant surprise in this one. 5 catches, another touchdown. Proven to be a massive touchdown threat for this offense. And we'll stop right there because we got more to talk about. But imagine getting to the red zone. You have T. Higgins out wide. You have Jamar Chase out wide. And now all of a sudden, you have to worry about Andre Yosivach, who is seemingly in the Julius Thomas role. You remember Julius Thomas with Peyton Manning? The guy had 13 touchdowns on his season. He was getting like 3 catches a game. But every time you knew Peyton was going to find him in the red zone. And you know why that was so effective? Because you had Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders out wide. And then you just had a big body guy that could get open in the end zone, just had to beat his man into one-on-one. When you add that dynamic, and then you add on Mike Gesicki, really good tight end in the pass game. Got to worry about him chipping out wide. Then all of a sudden, Eric All Jr. is starting to come together. 4 catches this game. We thought it'd be great in the run block game. Now all of a sudden we're getting involved in a pass block game. Now you're in the red zone, or you're trying to stop the Bengals offense that has 2 number 1 wide receivers. You have a dynamic player in the red zone in Yosivach. You have 2 big-bodied guys you have to worry about that know how to come up the line of scrimmage to make plays. That is 5 guys that have the ability to beat you in one-on-one. Oh, by the way, you also have the guy that was the best player in college in deep go routes. I want to reward that. And as far as deep balls were concerned, as far as beating teams deep was concerned, the best deep... I don't know why we had to be difficult about that. They had the best deep threat in college football last season in Jermaine Burton. And we haven't even talked about him. He didn't even get into play. That's how deep this offense is right now. As far as I'm concerned, you're looking at this offense, somebody's got to go. We got to trade somebody. Is it T? Is it Jamar? I don't know. Somebody that's proven himself. You got to get some value out of these guys for the defense. But until then, boy, is this offense going to be fun to watch, and is it going to be hard to stop? Because I think you can stop at Yosivach, T, Jamar, or you can stop at Yosivach, Jamar, all. I mean, you can take just about any of these guys out of this team. Obviously the debate's there for Jamar, of course, but any of these other guys, you can ship them out the door right now, and this offense is still going to hum in a big way because there are just so many dynamic players on this team, and that is such a good thing if you're a Bengals fan. Because again, best defense is a good offense. You keep that defense off the field. You put up points, you're going to win football games. And the Bengals defense historically has proven. Now, again, they got pummeled. No excuses for what happened against Jayden Daniels and company, who had a dang near perfect football game. They got pummeled. But historically, we've seen, and this is why the Bengals have championship caliber defenses under Lou and Anarumos. Historically, they make the stops when you need to. We've seen it the week before. They stopped Kansas City when they needed to. The Bengals fumbled that chance. And then they gave the ball back foolishly for whatever reason. Still blows my mind. They give the ball back, and then the Chiefs win a football, run the clock out. But they make the stops when you need to. They did the same thing against the Patriots. They made the stops when you need to. Bengals fumble the football away, cause some bad turnovers. That's historically what the Bengals defense has done under Lou. They've made the stops when you need to. They may not be lights out, but they typically clamp down in the red zone, and they typically make the stops late in games that put your team in a position to win football games. And if you put the football in Joe Burrow's hands with this offense, they're going to win a lot of football games. I'm pumped. I'm excited. There's a lot to like right now. For 0-3, kind of crazy when you think about it. 0-3. And did we get to talk about Eric All enough? I don't think so. This guy. You know, remember week 1, it was the 12 personnel. Look how good the run game is with Eric all on the field for run blocking. Then week 2 comes around, they use them a little bit more in that perspective. Week 3 comes on, they're still using them in that area. And again, the Bengals run game has been improving. Kansas City a little bit more difficult. Kansas City a great defense, but you know, it's been improving overall. Again, 7 yards per carry for Moss. You know, not Moss, Chase Moss getting around 4 or 5 is just well. But then you see Eric also get involved in the pass game. 4 catches. The ascent of this guy. Because you got to remember, he's a late round draft pick. You had Hudson, you had Gesicki, you got these guys that you're already looking at and saying, we got our pieces. And we know the Bengals are more than happy to bench their rookie players. So they're more than happy to do that. DJ Turner, Jordan Battle, you know, the young guys, they love doing it. It's one of their favorite pastimes. So for this guy to earn his way onto a roster this quickly, into ascent this quickly, now seeing 40% of snaps, impressive. You have to be pumped about what you have out of Eric All right now. And again, boy, is it important. Boy, is this a test run this season for some other guys to stand out when you're a Bengals team, again, looking at what you need to do to allocate the finances in the future, because you got to spend whatever you can on that defensive line, especially when Trey Hendrickson is getting older. So if you can find a way to figure out some of these young guys offensively and have them under a low contract for 3 years, boy, can that be a big help. Nonetheless, got to be optimistic about these Bengals still. Love y'all's thoughts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.